Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a very important lesson. We're going to master the verbs to be and to have, which are the foundation of everything you say in English. By the end of this video, you will be able to introduce yourself and describe your world perfectly. Let's get started. Part 1. The verb to be. The verb to be is the most basic and essential verb in English. You use it to talk about names, nationalities, ages, professions, or how you feel. The affirmative form. In the present tense, the verb changes depending on the person speaking. There are 3 forms: am, is, and are. For the first person, you say, I am. You can shorten this to I'm. For example, I am a student. For the person you are talking to, you say, you are, which shortens to your. For example, you're very kind. For a single man or boy, you say, he is or he's. For example, he is a football player. For a single woman or girl, you say, she is or she's. For example, she is from the USA. For an object, an animal, or a situation, you say, it is or it's. For example, it is a beautiful day. When speaking about a group that includes yourself, you say, we are or we're. For example, we are ready to learn. When speaking about a group of other people, you say, they are or they're. For example, they are at school. The negative form. To make a sentence negative, you simply put the word not immediately after the verb. You say, I am not or I'm not. For example, I am not tired. You say, you are not or you aren't. For example, you're not late. For third person singular, you say, he is not or he isn't, she is not or she isn't, and it is not or it isn't. For example, she is not a doctor. For plural groups, you say, we are not or we aren't, and they are not or they aren't. For example, they are not at home. The question form. To ask a question, you change the order of the words. You must place the verb before the person. Instead of saying you are, you ask, are you? For example, are you hungry? Instead of saying she is, you ask, is she? For example, is she Alina? For the other pronouns, you ask, am I? Is he? Is it? Are we? And are they? For example, are they from New York? Part 2. The verbs to have and have got. To talk about possession, things you own, or family members, English uses 2 structures, have and have got. They mean exactly the same thing, but have got is very common in British English, while have is preferred in American English. The affirmative form with have. When using the standard verb to have, it stays the same for almost everyone, except for the third person singular where it changes to has. You say, I have, you have, we have, and they have. For example, I have a computer. For the third person, you say, he has, she has, and it has. For example, Alina has a brother. The affirmative form with have got. When you choose to use have got, you can use the exact same pronouns, but you add the word got. You can also use short forms easily here. You say, I have got or I've got. You also say you have got or you've got, we have got or we've got, and they have got or they've got. For example, I've got a new smartphone. For the third person, you change it to has got. You say, he has got or he's got, she has got or she's got, and it has got or it's got. For example, he has got a bicycle. The negative form. This is a very important difference. The 2 verbs make negatives in completely different ways. To make a negative sentence with have, you must use the helping words don't or doesn't before the word have. Notice that the word has changes back to have here. You say, I don't have, you don't have, we don't have, and they don't have. For example, I don't have a car. You say, he doesn't have, she doesn't have, and it doesn't have. For example, she doesn't have a pen. To make a negative sentence with have got, you do not use don't or doesn't. You simply put not between have and got. You say, I haven't got, you haven't got, we haven't got, and they haven't got. For example, I haven't got a car. You say, he hasn't got, she hasn't got, and it hasn't got. For example, she hasn't got a pen. The question form. Just like the negative form, asking questions requires 2 different structures. To ask a question with have, you must start your sentence with the helping words do or does. You ask, do you have? Do I have? Do we have? Or do they have? For example, do you have a jacket? For the third person, you use does and keep the word have. Does he have? Does she have? Or does it have? For example, does she have a dog? To ask a question with have got, you do not use do or does. You start the sentence directly with have or has, then say the person and then say got. You ask, have you got? Have I got? Have we got? Or have they got? For example, have you got a jacket? For the third person, you start with has he got? Has she got? Or has it got? For example, has she got a dog? Now let's test what you learned today. Try to fill in the blanks in these 8 sentences. You have a few seconds for each. Part 1. The verb to be.
I.
Very happy today. Alina. A student from the USA.
We.
Ready for the lesson.
They.
Not in the classroom. Part 2. The verb to have.
He.
A new bicycle.
I. 2 sisters. Does she?
A pen.
They.
Not got a car. The answers and explanations. Time is up. Let's check your answers together and see how you did. Answers for part 1 to be. I am or I'm. We always use am with I. It is personal and unique. Alina is one person, she. So we use is for the third person singular. We are, since we is plural, the correct form is are. They are. They is also plural, so we stay with are. Answers for part 2 to have. 5. He has. Remember, for he or she, the verb have changes to has. 6. I have for I, you, we, and they, we keep the base form have. 7. Does she have? This was a trick. Because we use the word does to start the question, the verb must stay as have. We never say does she has. 8. They have or haven't got. For a group of people, we use have. Excellent job. If you got 8 out of 8, you're a master of basic English grammar. If you made a mistake, don't worry, just watch the video again and keep practicing. Thank you so much for joining me in this lesson. Make sure to introduce yourself in the comments using these verbs. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more easy English lessons. And that is it for today. You now know how to use the 2 most important verbs in English. But remember, practice is key. Try to write 3 sentences using to be or to have in the comments below, and I will check them for you. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.